Legends, what is happening? And welcome to this week's episode of the INTOCHANGE Podcast. And I've got to thank you for being here as well. This week I'm joined by a good friend of mine, Layla Vinsek, who started out as a massage therapist of mine. And she's recently stepped into the realm of healing. The thing that I love about Layla is her nothing held back way of calling people out on her bullshit, which she has done with me many times. Because the thing is, we write our own stories, but we tell ourselves stories about why we can't have certain things. But generally, the thing that is getting in our way is ourselves. So she has taught me and many others around how to get out of their own way and take the time that is necessarily to become the best version of themselves. Another thing that we bond on is the fact that she also likes getting punched in the face. So we speak about this. She was a professional boxer in Slovenia when she was growing up, which as a young woman in a European country is very unheard of. So we talk about the trials and tribulations, obviously through bucking trends and going her own way, which has now led her to becoming the amazing human she is today. So she is not only obviously leading from the front and healing so many other people around her, but she just wants to see the best for the world. So we have a good chat about that and what needs to be done for us all as individuals so we can start to live a life that fulfills us rather than living to the monotony of the day-to-day life that we do live in the rat race. Layla.
Yes, Ben.
Thank you for jumping on board and having a chat with me. Now, we've known each other a few years now. I actually met you through obviously getting massage. And when I say massage, I actually think you probably should have been a butcher with the ordeal that we go through when we get massage. But honestly, it's been one of those things that it's like the pain is there because obviously of the work that we don't do when it comes to like stretching and recovery and that type of stuff, right? But not only that, obviously you've helped me a lot when it comes to growing as a man with obviously starting to be present with myself and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So obviously there's a big disconnect I feel for people when it comes to this type of stuff. For you, where did that journey start when it came to actually, I guess, for yourself being present around you and obviously being able to feel the energy?
I think it started already when I was younger. I just wasn't aware of it as much. I just always observed relationships, amongst people, and I was asking people. I think I told you that once. Are you happy? Are you happy?
Yeah.
And I never got an answer. Yes.
Yeah.
So it really bothered me.
Yeah. And how old was this when you were sort of having these
I
conversations?
think I was like 12, maybe
Wow.
14. I don't know,
Yeah.
like just young,
Yeah.
And yeah, like I was just always like, I think quite emotional as well.
Yeah.
But still, like my childhood, like obviously I grew up without a birth mom.
Yeah.
And that was like a bit kind of forced, to suck it up, princess, and just live your life. And I don't know, I was just observing a lot of emotional stuff that was going on. And my brother being so much different than me.
Yeah.
I think just, particularly relationship, I would say. And I wasn't aware of it. And then when I started going to high school, and then I think after high school, like I went for my first job was actually in an office.
Okay.
So I was sitting on my bum and
Far
like,
cry from what you do now,
yeah,
right?
like completely. And I knew that was not what I wanted.
Yeah.
So I think I was just always wanted to really be aligned with myself and like wanted to strive for happiness. And that's why I was always a bit different, I think, even for my dad, because he was like, a bit shocked what things that I've done.
Yeah.
But in a good way, because if I wanted to do something, I would do it. And I wouldn't just do it just because, but I finished it too.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I think it was just like quite early, young age.
Yeah.
And then it just went up and up, and now I just feel it so much more that I can't shut myself down anymore.
Yeah.
So people just come and they just talk or they just want information that I feel.
Yeah.
And even if like in the beginning when I started really noticing, I was like, okay, I'm not going to say anything, just shush, But they just came to me like, tell me, Layla. Literally, they say, tell me. And I'm like, what do you want me to say? Oh, just whatever you feel. And I'm like, don't you feel it? Like I was like a bit confused. Like, how do you not feel yourself?
Yeah, you felt like as if like this is something that everyone felt.
Yeah.
Right.
I thought that's normal, right?
Yeah.
But more so now, I know that's completely not normal. What is normal? But,
right.
not a lot of people are aware, as you know,
Or in tune.
like in tune with themselves. And it's, they think it's really hard.
Yeah.
But I don't think it is. I think I always come to the conclusion you just need to open your heart.
Yeah.
And whenever you stop really lying to yourself, as you went through similar pathway, but
course,
like in a
yeah.
different way. But when you open your heart, you stop lying to yourself. that's when good things start happening, and that's when you start feeling your body a bit more, and your heart and your emotions, and your life becomes happier.
Yeah.
And that's when you can see, oh, actually I can be happy.
Yeah.
And still these days, Ben, when I ask them, they still can't answer me properly.
Yeah.
They would say, oh yeah, in some aspects, but there's always some but, because not everything is perfect, you can still be happy.
Right. And that's the thing, like when people say but, like I'm happy but, it
Yeah.
sort of just like gets rid of what you just said. It just makes it like invalid, right? Like
Yeah.
they might say I'm happy but this, and this. Well, really you're not happy. These are the things you're holding on to, right?
Yeah. And it's hard for them to hear that word, you're not happy. So I stopped doing that too, because it hurts actually.
Yeah.
Because not all people are ready to confront themselves. And when you say, so you're not happy, it hits them.
Yeah.
And it's going to close their heart even more. So you have to be I don't need to be careful anymore because I feel people so much. But in the beginning, I had to be really careful sometimes what to say.
Yes.
Because it hurts them. And if they're not ready to work on themselves, then it's like,
It could add some wounds,
it's
right?
a bit awkward, and then I don't want people to just start opening and then closing down again. But I know it's their pathway, but for me, I want to really help people.
Yeah.
However, I'm torturing them on the massage table, but, outside of that zone, I just really want them to start feeling themselves and just be honest with themselves, because it's such a fake world outside,
Of course.
and I just know that there's a lot of young girls and like women and men, they're on pills, like antidepressants and all sorts of stuff. And I just can't believe it.
Yeah.
More so here in Australia than even in Europe.
Yeah.
It's sad.
That's where the medical model's broken, right? I actually had this conversation with a few of my guests now around the mental health model. Like,
Yeah.
pretty much you feel like shit, okay, cool, go to the doctors, they put you on SSRIs, and it is a band-aid. It doesn't actually fix the issues because the issues are still there, right?
Yeah.
And once again, it's a lot of the time it's coming from a place of I'm not enough. And whether that's through like external validation, whether that's through because obviously the world we live in now being so digital with Instagram, and everywhere we go, we're getting marketed. It's like, buy this thing, it's going to make you feel better. But then even if you don't buy into that, you think, well, hang on a second. Is that saying that if I don't have this thing, I'm not enough? If I don't drive a Porsche, I'm not good?
Yeah.
If I don't have a Rolex on my wrist, then I'm not worthy, I'm not successful?
Yeah.
What would be your, thoughts around that? So obviously this is a big part of the world that we live in, but the capitalistic world that we live in has really created these problems, right?
Yeah.
Hey, hello. Sorry for interrupting your podcast, but I just wanted to quickly jump on and tell you about the must-have personal development tool for 2023, and it's called the Happier, Healthier You Journal. So I'll take you back to about 6 years ago. I'd just gotten out of jail for the last time and was starting my journey of personal development and growth. There was heaps of gurus, heaps of information available, but so much so that it became confusing. So I came up with the Happier, Healthier You Journal to help you to navigate what can be an absolute minefield. From the very get-go, you open the page and it'll challenge you to dive deep with self-assessments, daily activities and check-ins to figure out exactly where you're at, where you'd like to be. And then from there, the journal becomes the tool to help you to bridge that gap. So to get your hands on this, click on the link below and don't forget to use Interchange10 at checkout for a cheeky 10% off. I'll see you back over on the episode.
I think it's that's where it can be really hard for some people, because when I drive in my small car and I come into a place where all let's just say majority of people drive Rams and big cars, I don't care.
Yeah.
Because it comes from within, and those people then come to me, and knock on my door and say, Layla, help me, which again says it all, that you can have everything. If you're not going to be working on yourself, it won't help you,
Right.
so you can still be unhappy.
Yeah.
But a lot of them, they are so disconnected and so distracted with these material things, they don't even come to the point that they would know that they're unhappy,
Yeah.
So they just buy new things, and I don't know, they just do
Repeat
also,
the pattern.
they just repeat the pattern with different things.
Yeah.
And the outcome is the same, you
Yeah.
know? And even relationships that I see that they have, I can't obviously go in there, but I see it straight away. If it's a proper relationship or if it's not going anywhere,
Yeah.
but it's not on me to judge.
Yeah.
So I can, if they ask me, I will tell them, maybe you try this and this and this.
Yeah.
But it's not on me to judge, oh, this is not a proper relationship, because everyone has their own relationship. But I see it so many times that none of them are happy.
Yeah.
And just because of all these distractions, like you said, and money and Porsche and this and that, Even for me, sometimes it's hard because like, not hard in a way, oh my God, like I don't drive a Porsche.
Yeah.
But I would love to drive a Porsche, but with a different reason.
Yeah.
You know, not that people would see me. I don't care.
External validation.
I
It's
just,
coming
I
from
would go for a
different place.
great
Yeah.
drive, you know, with a Porsche. But I wouldn't, oh, Ben, I've got a new Porsche. You want to come? I don't care, you know? So it's just different perspective how I look at things.
Yeah.
And I think it's a massive problem, massive, and especially Instagram, because obviously, as you know, I'm not a fan of Instagram. But yesterday, but yesterday I literally took like 15 minutes
Yeah.
and I was scrolling like one particular person. I'm like, I'm just gonna literally do that to see what it actually triggers in your brain. And obviously they've got these material things. And I was just thinking, oh my God, if you scroll this like, I don't know, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes,
Yeah.
you can just, you know, like turn off your phone or just not look at it anymore. And you're gonna go, oh my God, my life sucks. I
Right.
don't have this.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
look like that. I don't have this dress. I want to go and buy, I don't know, a nice dress. I want to go shopping, you know? And
Yeah.
mentally, if you're not really strong, that's what I said, like maybe it could trick me as well. But I just don't allow it, you know?
Yeah.
Because I know me being healthy, that's the most important thing in my life.
Yeah.
And being loved by me
Yeah.
and then loving others.
Yeah.
That's the second thing. That's most important thing. So I don't resonate with those things, but I can see how it triggers them and how it just rolls them in like, you know, the same way all the time. And
Yeah.
they're not aware of it. And it's so sad.
Yeah.
So sad because then they're 50, 60, if they make it. But, you know, and then they've got all these things and you can see it in their eyes, man. You can see they're not happy.
Of course.
And particularly one guy that like I still remember, he's got so much money, like so much. And you can look in his eyes and he can control all the friends, all the people around him, because you can see, because he's successful. You know what is successful, but he's successful business-wise, and people would look at him and see the material things. Yeah, that's success. He's got money, that's success. But you look in his eyes, and I know he knows that I know that he's not happy.
Yeah.
But I can't touch that. You know, if they want to live like that, they just do.
Yeah.
So I see it big time. Like it's concerning. That's why I started, you know, working with people even more. And especially in the last 2 years, I would say.
Yeah.
Because first I wasn't open to it as much because I know for some it's a really huge, long pathway. But still then my mentor really taught me sometimes you just need to let it go.
Yeah.
If they will be ready to work, they will come back.
Of course.
So sometimes I just like, I kind of show them, you know, but if they're not ready, I just have to let it go.
Yeah.
Which is hard sometimes because you want to bring them, hey,
course, you
shake
wanna help-
them,
you wanna
wake
help
up
the
to
world.
yourself.
Yeah, you wanna help
But it
the world.
doesn't work, yeah. So, but yeah, it's hard, especially these days, and especially on the Gold Coast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, you're moving now, obviously, away from massage specifically and more towards energy work, and as I guess you call it the realm of a healer.
Yeah.
Now, I remember when we spoke about this, you didn't really want to be called that word, right?
Yeah.
But that's exactly what I'd call you. I'd call you a healer. That's definitely the space you're moving into.
Yeah.
Previous to that, you're a masseuse, you're a boxer.
Yeah.
So growing up, obviously, with the massage side of things, that's obviously something that's happened in recent times. But back to boxing, so back in Slovenia, where you're from.
Yeah.
Is this, like, I guess, female boxing in Slovenia, is that a done thing in your culture? Hey guys, sorry to interrupt again, but if you're liking what you see so far, don't forget to like and subscribe and share with your friends. Remember, all your support is really appreciated, and I'll see you back over on the episode.
No, not at all.
Okay.
So when I started, I was 19, so I started pretty late.
Yeah.
So women boxing was just not happening.
Right.
Maybe it was like 3-4 boxers at that time.
This is out of the whole of Slovenia.
It's like 2 million people, so it's
Yeah.
not a huge population, but still.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I was working in an office. I'm like, this is bad. Like you're just sitting on your ass
What
doing
was your
nothing.
office job? What were you doing? She said about
Just
that
an
before.
insurance company.
Okay.
Yeah, so boring.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm like, I can't sit all the time, and every day was the same, you know,
Yeah.
on, off when I
Yeah.
went home, and I'm like,
Yeah.
this is not me.
Yeah.
So I said, I need to start doing something, right?
Yeah.
And then I started searching for the gyms or whatever I could do, and I saw boxing. I'm like, okay, let's give it a go. And then I went to the gym and I literally, hooked up a coach there. I'm like, do you have any championships here? Like, champions here or like whatever? Is this just gym, whatever? And he just looked at me, who are you? Like, you don't come to a boxing gym asking that question.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I just want to train somewhere that they're good,
Yeah.
And then he just looked at me and he goes like, yeah, just come tomorrow. So I came, I couldn't walk for 3 days. Like
After the first
literally,
session?
yeah. Because I wasn't as active, I didn't do a lot of, like, I did sports, but just for fun.
Yeah. So prior to boxing, there was really no competitive side to you when it came to sport.
No, not really. Like I think when we played volleyball in high school and stuff like that, I always wanted to win
Yeah,
with them.
yeah.
But still nothing really, oh my God, like I need to kill him, like it never came from me.
Yeah.
And even now, like so many years after, so that's like more than 20 years.
Yeah.
When I do sparring, I came to the same page where I was when I started, like more from love, however that sounds with boxing.
Yeah,
But in between, then I started training and like I just loved it so much because whenever I decide for something, I'm just going to keep on doing it if I like it.
100%, yeah.
And I just started training every day. And I just, became really good and really disciplined more than anything.
Yeah.
And then I started competing. And no one supported me, Ben. Like, no one. Not even my parents, you're crazy. Like,
Was this because it was like a buck to the culture? Like it was like
I
pretty
think,
much,
like
a shock to the system
of
for
course,
parents, right?
and then I quit my job. Like it was like permanent job. Like you don't do that there because you over there, you've got a job, you've got a house and 2 kids, and you're done
9
for
to
the
5,
life. Yeah,
Get married, have kids.
That's it.
That's life.
But then me, I don't like this. I'm not happy. That was a statement that you don't say. Right. And then I started boxing, and they were like, "Oh, you just do it for fun."
Yeah.
So my dad didn't say much, which I was 19, so he had nothing to say really. But still, like you live with your parents. I still lived with my parents at that time. And then I started competing, and then it became serious for me.
Yeah.
And then, like, I was training for a few years already, and still no one supported me. And in Slovenia, in particularly, when you win medals, that's where they praise you. When you're on your journey,
the external thing.
When you're on your journey at the start, you're like nothing.
Yeah.
If you lose once, you're back to the bottom.
Yeah.
So that's how it goes. So here, that's why different,
Yeah.
which I really, really like because, you need to be supported when you start growing, not
course.
later on.
Of course.
But like in standards or society, it wasn't like women boxing, but I've done a lot for women boxing in Slovenia. So kind of people knew me. But yet I didn't get sponsors, so I went to European Championships and World Championships. I went to 2 or 3 training camps, which were amazing. You've got people from all around the world.
Yeah.
So I could travel a bit for boxing too,
That's
which was
pretty cool.
which was great. Seeing all people that do the same thing.
Yeah.
So you live for boxing.
Yeah.
And I literally lived for boxing. Obviously, amateur boxing, you don't earn any money.
Yeah.
I just lived for boxing because I loved it so much. I loved the discipline. I loved when you had to think so much, which people, like as people think, oh, you just punch a bag or punch a person. It's not like that.
I think that the best thing and the most beautiful thing about boxing, and I say the same about skydiving, is you're forced to be present.
Yeah.
And especially in today's world, like there's so many times when we're not present.
Yeah.
That it's like boxing. Okay, you don't. If you're not present, you're gonna get punched in the face. Literally, like you're gonna be in harm's way. So I feel like it's the perfect representation of how to be present in your life.
Definitely. And that's why I loved it because you need to. And I always, even again, when you asked me before about when I started feeling it, even with boxing, I felt like, okay, my training wasn't the greatest. What can I learn? So I kind of translated that in my life.
Yeah, okay.
So even if everything is not perfect, you still have to keep on going.
Yeah.
So no one told me that, and sometimes I still think, where did that come from?
Yeah.
But obviously it was inside of me, like that I was thinking, like just more how I feel. Pay attention on how you feel. You should be happy, And I did that for a long time.
Yeah.
And then I came to the stage that I went to the last European Championship, I think in 2014. And I lost my first fight. And like, this sucks.
What was your record prior to that?
Sorry?
What was your record prior to that?
I think I had like, I don't know, maybe 20, 30 fights. I lost probably 4 or 5.
Wow.
So I was pretty good, but yeah. No, but like, I know it
Of
could
course.
be better, but
No, that's amazing.
when
That's an amazing record.
yeah, but still, when you go to European Championships or World Championships, like it's so much harder because it's like, I don't know, 50,
Yes.
60 boxers, so, and then you lose one fight, you're out.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's not like, oh, you still have a chance. So I lost my first fight. I was so angry, like, which I don't get to the point of anger anymore, but I was really upset and angry. So that was the thing when you asked me before, I really felt the, competitiveness. I want to win,
Yes.
and more so because everyone was so against it, like no one believed in me. So I
Yeah.
think at that stage, especially towards the end, I kind of had to win to get some sponsors, and that's mentally never good.
Yeah.
So that kind of shook my head because that's not who I am.
Yeah.
And I still loved it, but then the thought of I have to, just like kind of, on the inside. So
Yeah.
it was just like a burden. You have to win to do this and this and this.
Once again, it's like that validation for self.
Yeah,
right?
and I'm like, I don't
not
want to
enough if you
win.
don't win,
Yeah,
right?
like I don't want to win because I have to. I want to win because I'm good, and because I want to win. Like
Yeah.
just pure that. And that was never the case in my boxing career, if I can call it like that.
That makes sense.
So I know I learned a lot in all these years from boxing,
Yeah.
how I can use this thing in my life, and even working now with other people, I can resonate like really quickly.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it just taught me a lot, boxing itself, and all the disappointments, like even through training and when it doesn't go well,
Injuries or things like that.
I never had really serious injury,
good, that's
like
good.
so. Yeah, I was really good with stretching, and I
We'll
had
talk about that in a second.
regular massages and just doing a lot for me. Again, I don't know from where. I was just really present with my body like since I can remember.
Yeah.
So I think that's why I never had serious injuries. But yeah, like it taught me a lot, and like I still love it. I still spar, but I don't have that spark anymore. Although if someone said, "Do you want to compete?" and gave me a challenge, and I would probably take it, but
Yeah.
maybe in a different way, like not so seriously and more through fun, but I would still want to win. Yeah.
Of course. That's the thing, okay? I had
Yeah.
a similar experience because, as you know, my second fight, I got knocked out within like the first 30
Yeah,
seconds. And it was
yeah.
shit. And then after that, I was like, well, I've got to jump back in the ring. And I promised my partner I wasn't going to have another fight, right?
Yeah.
And anyways, this fight camp popped up through my boxing gym. And I was like, I'll jump on. It'll be a lot less serious. And anyways, first week into sparring, and I was like, fuck, I'm getting dusted here. I'm not going to lose. Like that mentality inside
Yeah,
was just
yeah.
like, I don't want to lose. So this not so serious thing went from being not so serious thing to being like, all right, I'm balls to the wall 100% all in. So I can completely resonate with that.
So see, never promise to your partner you're never gonna fight again
Oh, I
because
told
it's
her
hard.
no more this year. I
you
said
know,
no more this year.
because I think when you're a boxer or like when you boxing, I think it's sports when you love it or you don't.
It is.
And I think when you love it, you can't make promises like that,
You've
because
got to love it to be going out there to get punched in the
oh
face.
yeah,
hungry,
like
right?
no one likes to get punched in the face.
But the feeling afterwards, like I even had this conversation yesterday. Like we had sparring yesterday,
yeah,
and the boys were just like, that post-sparring buzz that you get. It's just like you've gone in there, you got punched in the face, but you come out, you realize you're not made of glass, and you've overcome something. It's like that little bit of there's still that little bit of a fear in you. It's like,
oh yeah, always.
I
So,
might get
yeah,
knocked out in here. Someone might get a real good jab through,
Yeah.
and like dust
Yeah.
give me 2 black eyes, like it happened 2 weeks ago. But
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, it's one of those things that's always going to be there in the back of your head. But when you can jump in there and overcome that fear, it's like you've overcome something bigger
Yeah.
than just the fear of boxing, right? You've overcome that part of yourself which is holding you back from a lot of other things in your life.
definitely.
Yeah.
And I think specifically you feel it before the fight, because I never had the fear before sparring. But when you, like, even having the fear, maybe it's not the right word, but when I came in the ring, it's just because you don't kind of know what they're gonna do, so you have to read them. Yeah. So, but yeah, like I just love the feeling being there and just compete. And yeah, like sometimes you lost and you're like, oh shit, and all disappointed. But then when you're, like winning and you're like, oh my God, like it feels so good.
But you've got to have those lows to really be able to enjoy the highs,
definitely.
right? Like,
Yeah.
especially, there's nothing like getting your hand held up in a fight. Like, that is
My-
the ultimate feeling.
My coach told me once, love the journey, don't love the medals. And like when you're in the ring, love the journey. And then he said, sometimes if you lose, you learn more when you win.
You learn more from a loss every
And
other
I'm
week.
like, oh my God. And then I obviously, when you're there and experience it, like you literally know why he said that.
Yeah.
and you feel it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I still love boxing, obviously.
I think that once again comes back to being present, what your coach is saying. And this is something that we've spoken about plenty of times,
Yeah.
especially in the society we live in today. I feel like there's this big disconnect because people aren't able to be present. They've got all these distractions, they've got all that sort of stuff going on. And obviously, now you're starting to run these silent retreats, which I've obviously been on one with you. I think was it the first one that I did with you?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was honestly the most amazing experience. So with the whole, I guess, not talking, the Vipassana type sort of stuff, which is for people that don't know, obviously the silence, the no distractions and all that type of thing. Why was that something that you wanted to start bringing to the world?
I think because of the things that we spoke before, because of all these distractions, and because people don't even have a chance to connect with themselves.
Because
They
of all the
don't.
distractions.
Yes, they don't. They literally don't sit down and sit in silence. They turn on the TV. They
Yeah.
listen to the music. They drive in a car. You're just like, they're not present on the road. Sometimes I'm not present on the road, but you know what I mean? Like it's consistently one thing after another, and then you never ever, even for 30 seconds, take time for you.
Right.
And how, if you practice that, of course you're gonna be messed up.
Yeah.
You know, because you're not practicing being with you. And like when I started working with people, like with individual works, like just, energy works, and then I'm just like, what could I do to help more people at the same time? And what's actually the issue? And I was searching for this answer, if I'm honest, for quite a few years.
Yeah.
What could I do? Like, how could I help them? And it just never came. And then just all of a sudden, from kind of nowhere, I'm like, oh my God, like I should do silent retreats, because like, obviously nothing else works, And I know I've been researching then other silent retreats and stuff like that. But there's always yoga and some stretches and writing the diary.
Distractions.
That's all distraction,
Yeah.
And that's why I say no phone, no talking, no exercise, just you. And people go like, what? No talking,
One of the guys was on the first one with us. He's a
Yeah.
total artist, bought his sketchbook and you
Yeah, like,
confiscated it straight away.
I'm like, no.
And he's like, what if I want to write some ideas down?
And one lady asked me too, should I write diary? I'm like, yeah, write it here in your head.
Yeah.
And she looked at me, really? I'm like, yes, really. So, and everyone that comes to the retreat, they say the same. Oh my God, like it lasts for 2 nights, so 2 days really. And they say, oh my God, it seems like I've been here for a week.
Yeah.
Because you never do it.
You actually get to enjoy the time you have, right?
Exactly, because you're forced, And I'm not going to kind of allow that you talk, because you need to respect other people's silence too. And as you know, when you're there, you're just in tune, and that's the choice you made. Nobody forces you to be there.
That's right.
And when you get it, okay, I'm here for me, then you start enjoying it.
Yeah.
And sometimes you get resistance at the start,
I had that.
but yeah. But then when you come there and when you feel the moment, you're kind of just in the zone, and that's great, And I always say you can't live like that, because obviously we live in a world that we have people around us and things, and like it's great, life is great, but it's also great to just be you first and love you first, and then do all these things, because then life is just so much more beautiful,
Right. I definitely found that after going to the retreat for the weekend, I was coming back and I had all these great ideas in my head, and I was like, I was going to do this, I was going to do that. But I was almost anxious coming back into the world, because it was like, we've been away and cut off from, society for 2 days?
Yeah.
But because I've made so much growth in that time, it's like I have all these great ideas for the people around me, how I'm going to show that I appreciate them and do all this, but are they going to receive that the same way? And I started to get almost anxious about this, because once you've done something like that and gone through that experience, you've got to remember that everyone else around you might not be on the same journey or going through the same thing. And that was a scary thing for me.
But, like I told you, and I say that to everyone, it doesn't matter how they experience you when you come out, because when you're open to yourself, however, even if you grow, like you grew a lot in 2 days, however you come out, because it's going to be from your heart, they will accept it. It's not going to be a shock for them. Oh, what happened with you?
Yeah.
Because you're going to literally come from love, however, that cliche that sounds, but you're going to come from within and with love. And it's not going to go, oh, I'm going to, get a file for divorce.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen. It's like more so you feeling you. And like all this anxiousness, this comes from this world.
Yeah.
Because again, we're not used to
external
living.
rather than
Yes,
internal, right?
how often before have you sat down?
Yeah.
Our parents didn't tell us that. which they should, and please, as a parent, do that, but because you have to be present with you. Like, and then of course, anxiousness and like nervousness, oh my God, how they're going to take it. They should take it, because if they did the same, everything would be sweet. But no one does it, so it's kind of like, oh, how is this is going to turn out,
Different once again,
Yeah, we're all different. But you know what I mean? Like it just comes out as natural and good. There's no surprises, You don't go somewhere and, okay, now I'm going to decide to be superhuman. That's not how it goes. You're just more calm on the inside, and how other people take it, they can't take it as a bad thing, because you're going to glow. And if you have issues after that, it's you that you have to be aware, okay, in this world, I have to adapt a bit more. So it's still work, as I told you many times. It's everyday work. It's never going to stop.
It's like growth, right? Like growth is a lifelong journey. It's not like you just grow and all of a sudden
Not
you're
yet.
growing, right? Same as a kid, right? You start out as this little baby and you're always growing. But like that's also a metaphor for how we are when it comes to personal development, right?
Yeah, exactly.
One thing you kept saying is obviously coming from the heart. Now, obviously, with the work we've done, you've seen that I was quite blocked in the heart. And a lot of people say that this is due to the bottom three chakras being blocked. So negative self-thought, negative emotions and things like that. And they say that they're stored in the bottom three chakras. Is that right?
It is right. But I think then this is a label, again.
Okay.
Like I would just say like an ice bath today, or chakras. That's been here for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. So these days it's more like, oh, your three chakras are blocked, let's open them up. No, you have to wake up to yourself and start doing the work. It's true, because the first three chakras are obviously more keeping you grounded, but still, you can hang on to a chakra idea, or you can start changing your life, and that's where, like, I'm grateful for every healer that exists. Really, I honestly am, because we're all different, right? But I'm just more so related to chakras too, but more like kicking your ass, because I don't want people then to think, oh, let's unblock your chakras and you'll be sweet. No, you have to work for it.
You have to do the work.
All the things that you've suppressed, let's clear the emotions, not like suppress them and, okay, this happened, okay, you can still bring it out, but if you release the emotions from those events or whatever happened, then you'll be sweet talking about it too. And if you just think of chakra, and just clean your chakra, it's going to be working definitely, because that's energy work, but it's not going to be on a long term.
It's
so you can exactly. So you can do the, like chakra healing every week then. But then it's going to keep on coming back because you haven't really cleared what you suppressed for so many years. And the other thing that I started doing is, it's different plans that they help you to open your heart, and open everything that happened, and then really clear that, and then moving on fresh, and that's the thing that I'm a bit different there, I don't want to, like, oh, there's a rock or there's a, stone or like, and then this will heal you. It can help you because like it's obviously related to energies, but it's not the only thing. You need to kick your ass and do a lot of work. And a lot of people are not ready because first of all, they don't know how to. Second of all, even if you tell them how to, they're not willing to do it because it's uncomfortable and because they know it's gonna kind of break the bridges, between them old self and now.
Letting go of that identity, right?
So it's like different you. So you can't change if you don't change yourself, right? And that's scary for some people.
Of course.
For us, because we love challenges, okay, we'll do it, right? Because it's fun. But still coming to that point, like you said, I had blocked heart. I still know we have a lot of work to do, like a lot. Well, you have a lot of work to do. I can just show you. But you've done a huge step since I've met you, and at the beginning, we haven't talked about it as much. But still, like, you helping other people, in a different way too, that will be your self-growth in between during the process for sure. Because otherwise you won't resonate with them. And that's how I can see my path as well, Before I did the Reiki course and everything, I've done quite a few. So I've worked with my mentor for, I think, 4 years or something. And then like she said, oh, let's do the Reiki course. I'm like, I don't want to do it. And she goes like, why not? I'm not ready. Yes, you are. I'm like, I'm not ready. So I actually didn't want to start
Okay.
because I knew I had to release the emotions that I had to clear
For yourself.
for myself.
Yeah.
I don't want to touch people energy wise, or like kind of help them to grow if I know that I haven't cleared everything in myself.
Yeah.
And that's why for me it's easy now,
Yeah.
because I'm honest with myself.
Yeah.
And lots of times people tell me, oh, I've seen this and this therapist or whatever.
Yeah.
And oh, then we went on this path and I saw egos and then what? You know? You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
great that you were in tune and you felt the energies and okay, it's coming from your past life. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And then what? I really want to show people how to do it by themselves.
Yeah.
And they can come back if they're really like energy in trouble. So I
Yeah.
can push them a little bit more.
Yeah.
But they should be able, like everyone should do it on their own.
Giving them the steps to be able to do it by themselves.
Yes.
Yeah. 100%.
And that's why I just don't really, however, that sounds rough, but I don't like it when people have some therapies and they're still lost.
Yeah.
It's okay in the beginning, but
it's
after
like,
a
what's the
few
point of it, right?
sessions, you should know where you're heading.
Yeah.
And the therapist should tell you,
Yeah.
like you're lost. Let's find you,
Well, as a healer, I guess people say, like, you're there to lead, right? You're there to show people the way rather than
Yeah.
just do the things without teaching them, right?
Yeah.
For you, what was the big energies you had to work through, if you don't mind me asking?
I had to overcome like just being growing up without a birth mom,
Yeah.
And I thought, oh yeah, I'm sweet. I've done that, Oof, yeah, I've meditated so long for it, that kind of a thing. But it hit me just randomly, And
Yeah.
also, like I said, probably I had to work a lot from that perspective that no one supported me. I had to do everything on my own. I
Yeah.
had to like succeed with everything on my own.
Because that's always something you could speak about, though, like the whole, like we spoke
Yeah.
about before, not being supported and things like that.
Yeah, I could always talk about it.
Yeah.
But it was, I remember, Ben, like that's so vividly now. Now I laugh at it, but
Yeah.
at that time it was really sad. I actually started crying. So when I
Yeah.
was boxing and I had all these golden medals and everything, and obviously no sponsor, so I had no money, right? And I had like, I would say $20 in Slovenia. So, and I went to the servo and I put like just for $15 of petrol in my car. And then one guy was like just behind me and, you're wasting my time, blah, blah, blah. And that was all I had on that day, And I just won like a competition like 3 days ago. And that hurt me so bad.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, oh my God, like I won the medal for my country.
Wow.
And you're like saying to me, I'm wasting your time. So that hurt me really bad at that stage. I'm like, oh my God. I started crying when I sat in the car. I'm like driving, running my house out. But I'm like, no, this is my way. That's what I want to do. Even if I don't have money, I'm happy, And I could sleep outside in front of the gym.
Yeah.
So those are, I think, all the things that I had to overcome later.
Yeah.
Because at that time I had to compete, right? I had to train. I didn't take time to process that. Although I did, and that's why some of the competitions went down because I was processing.
It was in your head.
It was in my head, and I wanted to deal with it, so all those things, the little things, but they were obviously quite suppressed sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all that I had to overcome, and everyday life in general,
Yeah.
And even coming to Australia, like I didn't stop boxing there because I wanted to.
Yeah.
I stopped competing because, again, like it didn't bring any money. So I had to work, I had to box, I had to compete. It's too much,
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is it. Like, I'm just, because I knew I'm not going to live there for like, since I was like probably 10.
Yeah.
I just knew I'm not going to live there.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh yeah, whatever,
We had this conversation the other day. Yeah, you were saying,
Yeah,
like,
and
I'm
my
gonna
dad
move
was
to
like,
Australia.
oh yeah, you're going to live in Australia. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to live in Australia.
Yeah.
And now he's here with me.
Funny that, right?
Yeah, but yeah, I had to obviously overcome a lot of things, and
Yeah.
just like growing up without a mom, like obviously I had my grandma, she was like my mom, but it's not the same. And just dealing with that because we didn't talk about it. It's not like today, you talk about things.
Yeah.
Like you were explaining to your son before. That did not happen. Suck it
Yeah.
up, princess. We go on. We
Yeah.
don't talk about it.
Yeah.
So, and though when you live in an environment like that, it's harder because it's wrong, but then you kind of go that way.
Yeah.
And that's what where I was different. I was thinking about it. This is not, this isn't great.
This doesn't sit right
I'm
with
just,
me.
yeah, I'm just gonna deal with it on my own. So I did, and I dealt with it like a lot, and that's why I think I grew so much, because
Yeah.
I just taught myself how to do it.
Yeah.
Really, and now that's why I probably feel people so much more, because they don't even have to say anything.
Yeah.
I ask them, how are you? Yeah, I'm good. And I know they're not
You know,
good.
straight away, you pick up on the energy.
Yeah.
But you can feel that as well. If you're in tune with your own energy, you pick up on someone else's
Everyone
energy
can
that you'll
feel it.
You'll be able to
Yeah.
feel it.
Yeah.
But most people won't actually have that conversation. When they say, how are you? It's like very surface level. They won't actually go deeper. And when they know that someone's actually upset.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's all that person needs, right? Is someone to actually hear them, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And also, just hearing them, that's okay. But pushing them a bit more, like it's because I just had this conversation with a client of mine, and we were talking. And then I said, look, he goes like, yeah, everyone understands me. I'm like, that's not the point, because let's just say you break up with your girlfriend, right?
Yeah.
You tell your friend, you tell the other friend, and they're all smart kind of a thing. They all, yeah, I'm here for you, but they're not really.
Yeah.
So no one's there for you. You have to get that. Like, they're
You have to
here
do it
for
for
you,
yourself.
but you have to deal with it here when you lie down at night. You're by yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't talk about it, and talking about it is not going to help you.
Yeah.
So you have to deal with it. You have to nurture your heart and be grateful for your health, and just start from the basics, from the first 3 chakras,
Yeah.
So that's what I mean. You have to kind of really, it's hard if you've never done it before.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean. Like, people can really overcome something like superficially.
Yeah.
But then years and years and years
again,
pass
still
by,
there.
and still there.
Yeah.
And a stone won't help you. Someone needs to be there to
Help you
slap you a bit and tell you, hey,
Yeah.
there's work to do.
Yeah.
And that's what I do. I just really want to show people that they can do it, and that's the point. That's the point when they, it's not funny, but it's great to see them when they're releasing it, and when they released it, and then they look at me, and they don't even need to say thank you, because they know they did it.
Yeah.
They did it, not me.
Yeah.
And that's the best feeling ever, and that's why I do it.
Yeah.
And like I told you, I never wanted to call myself a healer, probably because of the reasons that so many healers are out there.
The stigma around it, right?
But I just don't resonate with quite a few of them.
Yeah, sure.
Which is great. I think everyone helps someone in certain level,
Yeah.
I just think we need to go deeper,
Yeah.
That's just a bit different from my side.
Of course.
Yeah.
Now, before, like a second ago, you were talking about obviously when people have like an emotional experience, even though they might, I guess, put it to the back of the head superficially, deep down they're still holding onto that emotion. So these are called emotional wounds. For someone that, I guess, not for someone, but for anyone, because everyone has these, right? It doesn't matter how tough you think you are, like especially for men. Fellas, you listening?
Yeah.
Right, we all have emotional wounds. That's the known fact. We all have emotional damaging things that have happened in our past.
Yep.
We hold on to these, and obviously someone might say something that might trigger it and bring it up. And it's not just that one thing they've said, because we might react, I guess, a bit over the top to one of these situations. It's actually going back to that original event and bringing back all that emotional trauma and that emotional feeling. It's almost like PTSD.
Yeah.
So for someone experiencing these, and let's just say someone feels triggered today, they're listening to this, how would they start to overcome that? What would be some work that they could do for themselves to actually start to work through that emotional wound and bring it to the surface to push it out and move on with their life?
I think it's too much talking about how to push that emotional wound out, and let's talk about it. I think you have to start with self-work first. So meditation, breath work, without you searching the answer how you will heal this.
Okay.
It doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
Because
so
when you're
even,
not
like, setting an
present,
intention, like if they
No,
set the
n-
intention to try and heal that wound.
no, because when you want to do something, it's gonna be so much harder,
You focus on
So
one thing, right?
yes, so first you need to kick your ass and start the breath work and meditation for nothing, just
Yeah.
because you want to calm yourselves down.
Yeah.
Because if you're not calm within, you're gonna search and you want to release it, and you're not going to, because there's too much resistance.
Yeah.
Or you want it too much.
Yeah.
This has to come out from love, not from anger,
Yeah.
not from disappointment. Because when you really feel your love and who you are, you're gonna release it like this, like water.
Okay. Yeah.
Like water, Ben.
Like water.
And when you have that anger and disappointment and sadness, inside of you, and you want it so bad to go out.
It's coming from a place of fear, right?
Of course, fear and not really loving yourself.
Yeah.
Because when you really love yourself in depth, nothing can touch you. So
Yeah.
all the things that happened, you will know, okay, it happened, but I love myself, and I love everyone else or the environment around me as well. So I'm just letting it go because it doesn't serve me.
Yeah.
So coming to that stage, I think that's the biggest step, and usually in the beginning you need someone to tell you that. And that's
Help
what I
to guide
said.
you through it, sort of
Yeah,
thing,
so
yeah.
we can meditate on it and we can touch the emotion. And I usually release the energies in between people.
Yeah.
But that's one step. There's so much more to it. So I think what they would have to do is first just sit their ass down and just start breath work and nothing else.
Just being present.
Just being present and just being them, who they are. Start loving themselves, even if they had that emotional experience, And then from there, you can start releasing it slowly and in a nice way, not with anger,
Yeah. I think this is where a lot of people struggle, though, because you said they just need to be themselves. They need to be
Yeah.
who they are.
Yeah.
So if I was to ask you who you are, what would you say? What would be your response or answer to that question?
I'm a person who really loves themselves.
Okay.
I really am a person who wants to help people to really be them and love who they are.
So why is it then, if I was to ask anyone else or who you are, they'd start with the things they do, the what's, right? It's, I'm Ben, I'm a personal development coach, I like to box, I jump out of planes, but they can't actually go deep within to release who they really are and actually get that into words. Whereas obviously for you, you've done that work to be able to do that.
Yeah. Lack of self-love.
Yeah, okay.
Definitely. It doesn't mean that you don't love yourself at all, but I think you're not opening your heart fully.
Yeah, okay.
Because if you asked me 10 years ago, I would probably say I'm a boxer. No, I'm not a boxer. You know, I love boxing,
You're a
but
human
I'm,
being, right?
yeah, but I'm not a boxer. So when you really touch yourself in the right way, touch your heart and really open it, you can't resonate with the thing you do. I'm not a massage therapist. I am, okay? That's what
you do,
what
that's
I
not who
do.
you are.
But it's not who I am.
Yeah,
You
okay.
know, and I'm not even a healer. I am, but you know what I mean?
you do,
I
you
don't
help
see myself, oh my God, I'm a healer now. I'm going to save the world. I just feel myself, that's who I am. I just want to help people and I just love myself, and that I try to really strive for that every single day, not to get too much away from it.
Yeah.
Because, it happens to me too. I'm a human being.
Yeah.
Like you said before, I'll see 10 Porsche cars. I'm like, oh my God, amazing,
Yeah.
Especially because my husband loves Porsche, and I'm like, I want to buy it for him.
Yeah.
But it's not okay,
I need to have
my
this.
life is bad, I don't have a Porsche. I just go back. So I'm really aware. And for people like you say now, what they have to do is literally just take their time. And that's what we were talking before, silent retreat. You never did it before. You never sit down.
Yeah.
Even if you do, there's music or TV or
Yeah.
your kids or your wife or,
Yeah.
it's hard to get it before you start doing it. When you start doing it, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
work, yeah, you'll start to feel it,
Because, you start feeling it, And I work with people and they come back after a while. Oh, my week was really down. No. You allowed it that you were down.
Yeah.
Because if you did your work, and then I ask, did you do your work? Oh, not this week, Oh, and then everything just goes down.
I feel attacked.
Yeah, yeah, right. But you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do,
you
definitely.
exactly. You feel disconnected.
Yeah.
And that's the problem, because you don't connect with yourself. And that's where they have to start, with connecting themselves, not just searching for that emotion and anger and disappointment. I want to bring it out and I want to throw it away, and it's not going to be there. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
Because like I said before, it needs to come from love.
Yeah.
And that's self-love, and a lot of people lack of that, a lot.
Yeah.
Especially, I'm not going to say especially men and women, because oh my God, I came across so many women, young women,
Yes.
20-something.
Yeah.
And they're all on some certain medication. I've got ADHD, this and that. I'm like, are you kidding me? You're 20-something, but you're diagnosed, they diagnose you, and then you believe it.
And then you're stuck in the system.
And then
right?
you're stuck in the system. And
Yeah.
then you say, oh, you should do some self-work. Oh, yeah, but the doctor told me. And you see that's the brick wall, and then you sometimes you can't climb over because they don't want to.
Yeah.
So you can, give them your hand, come on,
Yeah, you throw them right,
jump
let
on
them
board.
climb
But
up, right?
if they're not ready, you can't do anything.
Yeah.
They just seek for that labeling, like, oh, they said I've got this.
And then they identify with that, right?
They
It's
do,
like,
big time.
So once again, who are you? I'm Ben. I've got ADHD.
And then for 20 years, you're gonna suffer because something happened in the past. Are you
Yeah.
kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna say my birth mom left me, right? So I could suffer for the rest of my life. Oh, poor me, But I don't want to live like that. Like, I love my life,
Yeah.
I don't want someone or something to affect me for so many years.
Yeah.
And that's what maybe I should point out to people. Like, when they feel down or in a mood, which is not possible, like if you're really connected, you can change your mood like in
Like
a
that.
second.
Yeah.
In a second.
Yeah.
Because you're the one who decides which mood are you going to be
And
in.
how you react to a situation. Right?
Exactly.
It's on you.
And that's work on yourself. It doesn't happen from today to tomorrow.
Yeah.
But you're going to keep on reminding yourself.
Yeah.
And that's where, it starts happening.
Yeah.
So the first thing definitely is just started being connected with themselves, which again, take time.
Yeah.
I don't have time. Really? Get up 5 minutes earlier.
Yeah.
5 minutes.
We've all got the same amount of time a day, right?
Exactly.
It's about
Where we place our energy, the 100% of energy, where you place it.
Yeah.
And usually it's 100 there and 0 here.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's the
external
problem.
things, once again.
So that's the problem. It's not the emotion that you experienced in the past. It's you
Yeah.
here now, not taking care of you.
Yeah.
And when you, when you say it like that, they go like, whatever. Because it's so much,
Brush
some
you
of
off, they don't
them,
like hearing it, right?
because it's so much easier to live your own life.
And blame something else, right?
Exactly. Oh,
Yeah.
because of this, I'm like this. No, because of that, you're here now. And because of this, you should start working on yourself.
Yeah.
So that would be my advice, sit down.
Sit down. Do
Sit
the work.
down and just be you.
Yeah.
And embrace yourself, like your heart.
Yeah. So obviously, like, you're this very happy, bubbly person now. In the massages, I don't know how you keep a smile on your face because I've got a smile on mine. It's like a definitely polarity and energy there.
Yeah.
But obviously, you still have your down days. So days where you might not be feeling at 100%, might not be feeling, I guess, as bubbly as you are today. How do you navigate that? And how would you bring yourself back from one of those days? What would be the things that you would do for yourself?
I think because I'm really focused person, so if I feel, I'm just gonna say it like straightforward. When I have my period, I have to slow down a bit.
Yeah.
And now it's coming those days.
Yeah.
But I just know I have to slow down.
Yeah.
I don't run around for nothing.
Yeah.
I just take my time.
So understanding your body.
Yeah,
as
like
a female,
understanding and like again listening to your body.
Yeah.
Not maybe even a lot of people don't understand their bodies because that takes time,
Yeah.
But just listen to your body. If it feels okay, I'm tired, but I have to do this training. No, you don't have to. You have to die. That's the only thing you need to do in this life.
It's a given that.
It's
payback.
that you just get that. Yeah. But taking my time, that's what I do. Like and I can be fully booked. With clients, and I'm just gonna focus. And then when I have that time for me, it's gonna be for me.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna recharge, and my husband knows that too, and he's pretty much the same. Like he grew like so much through, like since I've known him. I think it's just important that we acknowledge that we're tired, that we can't be 300% all the time.
Yeah.
And just take time and just sit down, go to bed. I don't know, just recharge.
Yeah.
You can't recharge going for coffee with your friend because you need to spend energy to talk with them.
Yeah.
If you really want to be focused
Apart
on
from that,
them.
the coffee's going to rise their cortisol as well.
Of course, yeah, but you know what I mean? Like, or
Yeah.
like, I don't know, I'll go for a walk. Just sit. You don't have to do anything.
Just be.
And that's what I have to do. Like, and sometimes if my week is really busy, I just know I need to take a day or two. And I just go to the beach and like just did that 2 days ago. And I was there for 2.5 hours and it felt like I was on holidays.
Yeah.
Because I just was standing in the water van and I was just like, oh, thank you, universe, for this. And I was just like literally doing nothing,
Yeah.
And then I was just like sitting there and just do nothing. I didn't even read a book. So,
I think this is a crazy thing because we think this is like the model of the world, right? To be happy, we need to have this, we need to have more, we need to have that. But really it's about doing less.
Yes. The word mindful less, right? So
Mindfulness.
it should be like less thinking.
Yeah.
But people go, I think they get it, this expression wrong because they think, oh, I shouldn't have any thoughts. Yeah, you should have thoughts. We're human beings. We have thoughts all the time.
Yeah.
But just sit with those thoughts, because you're the one who does something with those thoughts or not.
Yeah.
But that's, like I said, that's work to do, to come to this stage where I am today, and I'm 41 now. It took me a while, it took me years. I wasn't like this when I was 17, so I was like hyper, but still, like I said, like when I was training, right, and competing, I didn't take time for me. Time for me was hiking. My coach was like, oh, tomorrow it's your day off. You know what I did? I woke up at 4 o'clock and I went hiking.
Yeah.
And it's like not here, there are hills around, there's proper mountains.
Yeah.
And I was exhausted. And then the next day I had training. What did you do? Oh, nothing. And I could feel my legs like burning, He was like, you didn't rest, did you? I'm like, nope, I went hiking because I love the mountains so much, And so I used to like do the same. But then when I started working on myself, I'm like, okay, so this is, I just have to grow from that.
Yeah.
So now if I skip training, I'm not going to go, oh my God, I skipped training. I know why I skipped training because I just had to rest,
Yeah. I think that's a good thing to bring into focus as well, is that this journey doesn't happen overnight,
No.
right? Like you said, like you're 17, you're boxing, you're
Yeah.
hiking, you're doing all this stuff. You weren't being present, you weren't doing the things you probably needed to do for your body, but through your time, obviously, on this earth, you started to experience different things and obviously seen other people experiencing things. And now you understand that, this is what you need to do for you, but also what other people need to do for themselves.
Yeah, and also, Ben, for me, it's sad to see because I know it's not that hard. You just need to allow it. And like now I would cry because I remember all these people that I had a particular one lady, she was full on, like you're on sometimes. Oh, I got to do this, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, just stop, stop. And like I told her, you need to stop. Like she was working a lot, and then came home and you have to do all these things at home and blah, blah, blah. So anyway, I would say typical lifestyle, right?
Yeah.
Busy, busy, busy.
Yeah.
And so when someone for me says, I'm busy, I'm like, okay, you make yourself busy. You know what I mean? You always have time for someone to talk to, or it just make your life busy, which is fine. I'm not saying you have to sit 24 hours and meditate and you would be blissful, because you can be blissful even when you're busy. But anyway, so I wanted to say it makes me sad when I see these people busy, 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 and I felt on her body as well because she came for a massage, and I'm like, you need to stop. And I tell this a lot of people, not even if they don't come for a massage, if you don't stop, your body will stop you. And she was like, yeah, I'll do it, And then what happened? She got cancer, and that doesn't happen from yesterday till today. It's building up, and she's not the only one, And then like I didn't know. So she just didn't come for a while.
Yeah.
And then she texted me or called me, I don't remember. But anyway, so I'm going to come for treatment. But I'm like, yeah, that's fine. And she tells me, I haven't been in touch because I had a cancer. So I'm like, ooh, okay, breast cancer, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, that's fine. Oh, can you massage like my breast area? Because obviously she has no breast now, and it's really good for circulation and stuff. And anyway, she came, and I have to say it, right? Because whatever I feel, I say it. And I said, remember what I told you to slow down. And she said, yeah. And I said, I told you your body will tell you. And he told her in the most bad way. Yeah. And I don't want people to experience that. So even people, when you say, they're successful and they've got a lot of money, although they strive for it, that's fine. But please take time. Please do it, because I know it won't maybe catch up with them now, but it may catch up with them when they're 40 or 50 or 60.
Yeah, of course.
And then they would pay billions. It doesn't work anymore.
Yeah,
you know?
Cost them a little bit short term, but long term it's going to cost even more.
Exactly.
I mean, health is the biggest price you can pay, right?
And I don't think they get it, you know, because you're pushing your body so much. And I used to do it too. But, like I said, I've done a lot of work to now realize, no, okay, today you're not going to do it. Yeah. And I don't feel bad about it, and maybe it's like with experience too, but still being aligned with your body and your heart and really listen to it. That's where, and even like, as you say, as a healer, you need to cleanse yourself all the time. It takes time. Yeah. I go to the ocean, I go to the water, I go under the shower. I do it literally every time
so
when I'm...
Shower?
Sorry?
So you
Yeah,
do shower?
I do shower. I do that. But I mean, like every single time I break the energies like
Yeah.
straight away. Even today we're gonna be finished.
Yeah,
I'll do that.
of course.
So it's interesting for people. They don't know it because no one told them. And then when you say it in that way, their face and even your face like got serious when I told you, oh, she got cancer.
Yeah.
Oh, that's alert, you know. But what about before?
Yeah.
So I
Why
think
does it
it's
take trauma for us to actually start to recognize that? I think it's a crazy thing, right? Because change can come from a place of fear or from a place of love, right?
Yeah.
But a lot of the time, it's only coming from a place of fear because they have this experience or this adversity or something that will happen in their life and be like, if you don't change, you're fucking dead.
But also, Ben, that's the system. You
Yeah.
know, like no one taught us when we were growing up, oh, Ben, please take your time. You know, like be aware of yourself, listen to your
It's the complete
heart.
opposite, isn't it? It's do this now. You have to get
Like,
this done by this day, and if
of
not,
course.
then you're a failure.
Exactly.
It gets in programmed us from such a young age. And I
Yes.
think that's, like you said, that's the system we live in, and that's society we live in. We get programmed with all this fake, these fake expectations for ourselves
Yep.
that really it's going to be okay. Like if you don't do this, you're not enough. If you don't have a job or have a car or have a
Yeah.
house by this age, then you're not enough. That's the person you are. And I struggled with that for such a long time. For a long time, because I went to jail. Obviously, I see all the people around me that were buying nice cars and
Yeah.
buying houses and had great jobs and things like
Yeah.
that. And for so long, I was like, well, I fucked up. I'm a failure. So why is it that society programs us with that? Like, why is it that we can't teach our kids to, and why is it we don't teach our kids
So
to
much
slow down?
easier to control the society in that way.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
Because if you're programmed, you will be easy to control.
Yeah.
People like me, it's not easy to control.
Rebels rather than
Yeah,
misfits.
yeah. Like look at the COVID that happened.
Yeah.
It's hard to control those people. We're
Yeah.
not gonna get jabbed at all, ever.
Yeah.
You know, like it's harder to control people like that when they're and you can read book about, let's just say, Native American Indians. Why do you think they didn't allow like their natural medicines and stuff? Because
Yeah.
people who are in tune with themselves, they don't care about the law, they don't care about the car, they don't care about what you should do. They're gonna do whatever they feel they have to do, what
Yeah,
the
they're in tune
nature
with
tells
themselves,
you,
right?
you
Yeah.
know, what the universe tells you.
Yeah.
So you don't fit in the system.
Yeah.
So that's why they do this, because you're easy to control. You need to go to school, so you, of course, send your kids to school.
Yeah.
What if you don't take them to school? Oh, they're not going to know anything. That's not true. They can know more about life if they don't go to school. It's a waste of time. Lots of schools.
The schooling model's broken anyway, so this is like, it should have been updated a long time ago, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's literally set up, from what I see, to put people in jobs to work for other people. There's no real subjects that teach entrepreneurship or people to think for themselves.
Yeah.
Pretty much it's gearing them towards the system, which is buy a house. But to buy a house, you need to put yourself in debt. And to put yourself in that debt, you need to have a job to be able to pay that debt,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So get a job for someone else. And if you've got a 9 to 5 and it's paying, anywhere upwards from 50K a year, then you're doing really well for yourself.
Yeah,
That's success.
yeah.
But I mean, in today's market, like even making, let's say, the average wage, which is 50K a year, you're not going to get by. You're only just getting by. You're not happy.
Yeah.
You're not living a life that fulfills you. You are only just getting by. And for people to live like that, and obviously to be satisfied with that, it comes from the system that they're programmed from, which is
Of
schooling.
course. Yeah, of course. And like I said, they're not gonna teach you be in tune with your body at all. So you're even like if they taught them, okay, be someone that works for yourself, that's great. They should teach them that.
course.
But that's again materialistic world there, you have to have this and this and this.
Yeah.
They don't teach them be aligned with your body. You have to listen to yourself, there's huge barrier there, but it's a thin line because even if you're connected with yourself because of all these material things, wow, you can be on the other side like this,
Yeah.
So I think it will take a long time before they put it in a school system, that's going to change because like I said, it's easier to control people like that.
It's the model, right?
And you saw with, I'm going to say again, COVID, that's
I was
fear.
about to ask you about that, actually.
It's fear.
Yeah.
I'm going to lose a job. I'm going to do this. Oh my God, I can't travel. Oh my God, when were you traveling anyway? Like people didn't travel before, some of them, and they won't travel later.
Yeah.
So what are you afraid of?
Yeah. Yeah.
And like, I can't do this. What do you mean? Like, this is the earth. We should go everywhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So just being fearful of being in jail or doing something that's wrong by the law,
That's
you
right.
know?
It's challenging, I guess, because we get brought up to follow the law and they're there for a reason. But the thing is, I think that a lot of people didn't listen to their intuition because I spoke to a lot of people around the COVID sort of incident.
Yeah.
And I mean, now it's been not declared as a global incident anymore. It's like, oh, it's not a global emergency, which is, what, 3 or 4 years later,
It's
all of a sudden
ridiculous
it's
they
just,
say that now, you
yeah,
know,
that's
because
right.
they were putting so much fear into people.
Yeah.
They literally brainwashed them.
Yeah.
You know, like if you just see what was happening, you couldn't sit at the cafe because you had to scan your ass, you know,
Yeah.
before you could sit down.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Like, I'm not going to sit somewhere and scan my phone because I don't take my phone for a
Yeah.
coffee.
Yeah.
But they really brainwashed people. And I'm not saying like I love Australia. Don't get me wrong. You know,
Yeah.
I love it. And it happened everywhere in the world,
course.
really, you know. And like that's what I said when you heard, when you said, I just heard that my dad, you know, oh, you need to go to work, you need to do that. Like, you don't, why?
Yeah,
You know,
this is the
why?
same
Why is all
conversation
this
I have
like,
all the time.
you know, you get a bill, oh, we need to pay it. Can you just chill? It just got, I just opened the envelope.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna go and jump on the computer and pay it straight away.
Yeah.
But that's the mentality, that's how you brought up with, you
Yeah.
know, you be obedient, you know, and that's why, you know, free souls are a bit harder to control.
Yeah.
So, and it's like not a lot of people like that. So that's why the whole bigger crowd, it's still a lot controlled.
Yeah.
Because it's more of them,
Majority,
obviously.
yeah.
Yeah, majority, yeah.
They follow the trend, right? I think that
So-
speaking about the COVID thing, I think that what you said there is like the brainwashing, and it was crazy to see that the divide it actually created between people, communities, families, friends. Like that's just wild to me. It's just how something like this is like, you're not vaxxed, I can't sit with you, I can't be around you. Like that to me is just out there. But that's the world we live in. So like I guess when it comes to happiness, like we talk about happiness, obviously this podcast a lot, it makes being happy a lot harder, right? Because a lot of people are attached to, you know, this connection and obviously all these external things, and they can't have them, let's say, if they're not vaxxed or whatever.
Yeah.
So how is it that, I'm going to edit this part because I just fucked up.
okay.
But so when it comes to happiness, like what is happiness to you?
I think just first being aligned with your body and just expressing whatever you feel
Yeah.
every day, you know, because if you don't do that easy, then you're struggling with something, you know, and being healthy and just expressing yourself in whichever way, that's happiness, right? Like all the other things, it's just like adds on, you know, but you're not happy because of the car or because of the person that sits next to you.
Yeah.
You're happy because you're healthy and because you love yourself, really.
Yeah.
And I think that's the core of happiness.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
like people are happy in relationship, we are happy in relationship, but I'm not happy because I'm married. I was happy before I got married,
Yeah.
before I met my husband, you know,
Yeah.
and I was alone. I came to Australia by myself. I didn't know anyone. I was the happiest person on the planet
Yeah.
because I made myself happy and I allowed myself to feel however I feel, you know. So I think being healthy, that's for me the core of happiness. And then just like I said, just feeling myself,
Yeah.
you know, and then all the rest things just kind of fall together, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
If you had one piece of advice for someone that was trying to, I guess, uplift themselves and become the happiest, healthiest version of themselves, what would it be? What would be the thing that you'd like them to focus on?
Sit your ass down.
Again.
Take time.
Yeah.
Take time for you. Like maybe I say it in a rough way, but I think that momentum, when you take time for you, that from that momentum you grow.
Yeah.
You can't grow. Like, I know you've got your journal and everything, which is great. But that's again distraction.
Of course. Yeah.
When you're really with yourself and no one else and no sound and nothing, no distractions, and really connected, then you can really grow.
Yeah.
So that would be my first advice. Take time for you.
Yeah.
You know, without that, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
You take time when you have to go to training, you do it, you take time.
Yeah.
When you go to work, you know, you take time.
Yeah.
When do you take time for this?
Yeah, when you make
you know?
priority for yourself.
Almost no,
Yeah.
there is no time for some people,
Yeah,
you
of
know. So
course.
I think that's number one that they should do. Take time for them.
Yeah.
No distractions,
Yeah.
just them.
Cool. I couldn't
Yeah.
agree more.
Yeah.
Now, thanks for jumping on, Layla. Wow. Thanks for jumping on, Layla. I really appreciate you coming out and having a
Yeah,
chat
you're
with me. I know you're a
welcome.
busy woman,
Yeah.
but
I'm
one last
busy,
little
but I take
question.
my time.
Of course, of course. One
Yeah.
last question. Obviously, we've spoken about money not being too important to you, but if you had all the money in the world, what would you do with it?
I would open the retreat, which I will. Open a retreat where people can come every day for a week, a day, to wherever they can come non-announced. They
Yeah.
can just come and be there and just heal themselves
Yeah.
with just giving themselves a moment
Yeah.
and just heal. And I can help them with that. And I would do that everywhere in the world. Like
Yeah.
I would maybe travel as well, but I would just show them that it's possible for
Yeah.
everyone with no matter what they have in their heads. But that's what I would do with bunch of money
Yeah.
and with no limitations. That would be the only thing that I would do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Would that be a completely silent retreat? So you wouldn't be talking at all?
Yeah, no, you see, I think that's why this retreat is different because I think it's okay to be guided because there, like you said, Vipassana, you're there and then no one speaks to you. You've got,
Yeah.
I think, a video of 45 minutes or so at nighttime. But a lot of people, because they struggle, because they've never done it, it's too much for them. So that's why this is the easy version where I do talk, but I guide you through meditations and rituals, but I don't really talk much.
Yeah.
But still, I'm going to guide you a bit because it's
Yeah.
hard if you've never done it just to go in silence.
Of course, yeah,
It
yeah.
messes up with your head big time.
Yeah, yeah.
And so some people can have a lot of issues.
I've heard a
but
lot of this stuff, like
yeah.
people screaming for days on end.
Oh
and stuff
yeah,
like
like
that.
it's intense, which is okay. You're releasing the energies,
Yeah.
but you don't know what to do with them. So it's all these emotions at once, and then you're not guided and don't know what to do with it. It's a bit hard.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would still speak a little bit.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Now, if people want to find you, Layla, obviously with your retreats and stuff like
Yeah.
that, where can they find you?
Well, you helped me, right? To
Yeah.
open an Instagram page.
Yeah.
It's called Stillness Within You.
Yeah.
They can also reach out for my phone number or email, which is like connectwithin2022@gmail.com.
Yeah.
And but yeah, literally through Instagram on phone or email.
Yeah.
Or just come for a massage and I'll torture you first and then we'll do the rest. But
Yeah.
yeah, like I'm like now that you can see whatever I'm doing through the Instagram.
Yeah.
So I don't put a lot there too because that's again not me.
Yeah.
So people that can just see a little bit what we're doing. But yeah, they can reach out through Instagram and I'll definitely respond. I will take time. Maybe I won't answer straight away because I'm not sitting on my phone, but I'll take time and I'll reply.
Yeah.
But yeah, if they know you, they can reach out through you too.
Yeah, of course. And I'll put all your links and everything in
Yeah.
the description of this
Yeah.
podcast anyway.
Yeah, how do they say? Description below.
Yeah, in the description below, that's right. Now, thanks very
Yeah.
much for jumping on, Layla. I
You're
really
welcome.
appreciate you
Thanks
coming
for
out.
inviting me.
Of course.
Thank
It's
you.
been a great chat.
Thank you.